Steve Francis, and I'll be your pole sitter for the 20th Annual Dirt Track World Championship.
Track World Championship pits with Bart Hartman and Rick Auckland. Gentlemen, both locked into the feature. Just give me a word or two about what you look at today.
Well, we're going to wait and see if the track smooths out a little bit, and it doesn't look like it'll lock down, but I think it'll be pretty good.
Like to see it stay a little overcast so that sun doesn't get too bright and make it a one-lane rubbered up deal. If it stays cloudy, I think we'll be able to pass.
Well, let's put it this way. The weather forecast is for cloudy, so you guys are in for a treat today. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Down in the pit garage of the Dirt Track World Championship with Steve Shaver. Shaver starting outside the pole here for the Dirt Track World Championship. Steve, what are your chances today?
I think they're probably pretty good, I hope. We kind of like the way things turned out last night, running second in the dash. I'd rather have an outside starting spot. Just kind of hope they get the thing smoothed out a little bit. Last night it got a little choppy and a little rough, and my car was a little tight, and it was a little hard to navigate some of the holes, but hopefully they'll get her smoothed out. And we'll get the Simonton win this Poske's Performance Parts car, hopefully the $50,000 deal.
Well, 2000 may be just the year that a new Dirt Track World Champion is crowned.
We're hoping so. I had kind of a rocky year. We've had some good runs and some not so good runs, and we thought maybe this would be a good place to change the season.
Well, you come back home, you can win. Good luck to you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Over in the Balzano pit, and some tough luck for Mike Balzano here. In his heat race, he suffered a driving accident, not with the car, but with his body. Tell us a little bit more about it, Mike.
I was going down the backstretch and looked like a rock I saw coming at me. Came through the front. You know, we don't have a windshield in there, just bars protecting us, and came right between the bars in front of my helmet. Turned my head to miss it, but it hit on the steering wheel. Broke my ring finger right at the knuckle on it.
So you're going to make at least one lap today and get the start in, and it doesn't look like you can do a whole lot more than that.
No, it's unfortunate. You know, the car was pretty good last night. We ended up second in the heat. This happened like on the next to last lap, so we still finished second in the heat. Was hoping to have a good run today, but the way it's looking now, we'll just have to make one lap and pull in.
Well, it was awful good to see you in your run and your heat race, and tough luck, but better luck to you down the road, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Down in the Freddie Smith hauler here at the Dirt Track World Championship. Freddie, you win your heat number one yesterday. You start 7th. You're looking for your 6th Dirt Track World Championship title. What are your chances here today?
Well, you know, it's going to be still pretty tough to win this thing. You know, we was running good last night. We might have a good shot at this thing today, you know, if everything works out all right.
Well, I tell you what, this crowd will go wild if the 00 pulls to the front.
Well, they ain't the only one going to go wild. I will, too.
Well, good luck to you today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jack Hewitt down here in the Dirt Track World Championship pits. Jack, your first time in a late model to West Virginia Motor Speedway.
Well, you know, it was a lot of fun with the sprint car, and they don't run them here, so we had to come back down, and what they run, and that's the late models. But we're trying to get switched over a little bit to where we run quite a few more late model events next year, and what a place to start.
Well, I tell you what, was the track pretty good for you last night?
It was pretty nice. You know, like last night was the first night we ran a race car, not making excuses. And we had a little stumble and we were a little tight come be main time. Qualifying's never been one of my fortes, you might as well say, but we're catching it. We're gaining on. We're not out of the show yet.
Well, that's good to see that you got that positive attitude heading into your consi.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Now at the Gary Stuhler pit. Gary, nice run yesterday. Actually, it was last evening.
Thank you. We're tickled. You know, we got in the show and kind of took some of the pressure off. We didn't have to run a heat race, but we're lacking on motor a little bit. We got an older motor in, or we didn't think it would hurt us this bad. We were hoping to get a little slippery, but the way the racetrack looked, we might be a little down on power today.
Well, the feeling around this speedway right now and amongst the fans is that we're going to have a different dirt track world champion. You could possibly be it.
Well, I hope so. You know, like I say, the racetrack's going to be a lot different today than it has been in the past. And, you know, previous years it's gotten a lot slicker, but with the overcast skies and the racetrack's been real wet, it should be a pretty interesting race.
Well, good luck to you in your efforts to become crowned dirt track world champion.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Also scheduled to go in this event, Don Clark in the 1 car, Bilbo Cook in B1, the 24, George Lee in the 21L and the 7T car. Also scheduled to go the 0 of Booper Bear, along with the 01 of Ron Slavic. Lynn Geisler in the number 1 scheduled to go, the 33 of Sean Parson, and Ben Miley in 99. That is your scheduled lineup.
Also some young runners in this, and also some people that were different in a different style car. Barry Jacobs on a late model also will be in a modified later on this afternoon, along with Courtney Clewell. Clewell, about 22 years old, out of Cambridge, Ohio. Early in the year, running for the Stars Rookie of the Year Championship did not happen for him. He fell a little bit off the trail. Still spotty checks on that list. But Clewell, a lot of laps here at West Virginia Motor Speedway, a couple weekly racing features in his history. So watch for that 12C of Courtney Clewell to make his charge to the front. He is a former Winston Racing Series. When Winston Racing Series ran here at West Virginia Motor Speedway, he was a track champion, so he knows his way around this 5/8 mile speed plant. He'll bring him down nice and tight out of turn 4, nose to tail, side by side. They rode a life out of turn 4 as the green flag waves here in the first of 3B main. Lucas to the inside, hit to the outside. It finds it to his liking. Contact in turn 2. One up on the wall. Caution will fly here at West Virginia Motor Speedway on the first lap. No caution avoided as a 12-pulse pit side. Timmy hit out front. Lucas in second, and Larry Bond looking to make his way into this main event. He'll have to do better than what he's doing right now. 25 laps, a long ways to go here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Caution waves here. Caution on the speedway. Big Johnson folks, and they'll deal you up a shirt, any skin on the lot, any size for $10.
And at the driver's seat in this event, Ray Gus, driver of the number 12 in that last incident, collected both Bill Bullcook in the B1 and Jack Hewitt, Troy, Ohio's favorite son, picking up the late model ride in the Workin entry this weekend. Everybody checking up in the backstretch.
A cluster that survives right there in the backstretch. Larry Bond loses the handle at turn 4. One to the inside. Everybody looks to be mechanically okay. Just got up in the loose stuff. Double wide restarts force these guys to race. And racing 3 and 4 wide is definitely a new thing. Exciting for us, and I'm sure it's quite exciting for them.
And look at the damage on Greg Lucas's 32 car as the right getting around this racetrack, but we'll find out about that as we get everybody lined back up once again. Still 2 laps in the books. At the pace, he's picking it up now in turn number 3. They thunder through the corners. We're looking for green out of turn number 4. We are back underway.
The Hitman throws it into turn 1. See if we can get things rolling this time by. Lucas and Casebolt contact in turn 2. They both survive it. Oh, contact as Lucas taps the wall in turn 3. More damage to the back end of the 32 machine. Only 2 transfer, 3 laps down right now. Only 2 go. Everybody else packs it up and gets to watch somebody else take the big money home. Lucas machine not handling quite as well as it did. That contact with the wall definitely doing damage to the handling of the 32 machine. Caution, wave 0 again at West Virginia. Green waves again here in the first B main of the afternoon. Lucas checks up. Trouble for the 32 machine down the front stretch. Casebolt holds on to second out of turn 2. Your leader, Timmy Hitt, will stretch it out down the backstretch. Lucas will charge to the inside. Now the car drifts up high, losing the handle such. He'll hold on to third out of turn 4.
The number 1 car into the pits, and Sean Parson couldn't make his way down pit road.
Then by lap 17, he was on the point and leading the thing. We're underway again here in West Virginia with the first B main 5 laps in the books. Parsons pulls the 33 pit side one more time. Looks like he is done for this event. Tough break for the West Virginia driver. All kinds of problems down the front stretch as the whole front end of the car is lifted off the chassis. Timmy Hitt, your leader, goes by him at the flag stand. Benedict pulls the 25 pit side. He is done for this event. Tough break for the Bristol, West Virginia driver. Timmy Hitt checking out on this field. Lucas still holds on to second. Casebolt Jr. in third. Those are your top 3. Only 2 go. The rest get to watch from their hauler, the pits, or wherever they are. Or they can pack her up and head home and say they gave it a balanced shot here in the 2000 DTWC. Nothing he can do about it. As we're green again, we'll talk more about Mike's situation on our next caution period. 9 laps down in this event. Casebolt takes to the inside, and he'll take that second and final transfer spot away from Greg Lucas. Caution waves again at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Starter in row 3. Green waves again. They're under power on the backstretch. Timmy Hitt holds them off at the flag stand. He'll take it into turn 1. A little different line as he lets the car drift up high diamonds out the corner. Hitt up to a 3-car length lead down the backstretch. Cars coming ever so close to that middle wall between turn 3 and 4. The groove is climbing higher. This time by, Timmy Hitt will take those cross flags halfway through. 13 down, 12 to go. Greg Lucas, all kinds of problems as he slows on the speedway down the front stretch. Lucas turns it in pit side. He's retired for the event. All kinds of damage on the backside of the 32 machine. Tough break for the Whitesburg, Kentucky driver. Had a good run going. Now Casebolt will take over the second spot. We've got a battle of 2 7s right there. The 0-7 and a 7 for the third and fourth positions. Todd Smith to the outside. The 0 Smith down on the inside. Looks to be coming pit side. No, holding it out on the track. The 97 still holds out there. Now he slows. Looks to be entering pit lane. The 97 done for the event. Now Casebolt closing on the backside of Timmy Hitt. 16 circuits down. It's Timmy Hitt and Steve Casebolt Jr. The 1-2. Those two will transfer if the race ended right now. T7 of Todd Smith, nice save there in turns 1 and 2. Back up front, Casebolt now 8 car lengths behind the leader of Timmy Hitt in the 79 car. The B.A. Malcutt house car, the Brad Malcutt owned, number 79. Hitt picking up that ride in the latter part of this year. Now Casebolt looks like he's got a tire gone down. Either the tire's gone down or suspension's broken on the C9 machine. Caution waves here one more time with 18 laps in the book.
Driver of the C9 car. You can see he's not very old, but he's very experienced as far as racing goes.
It's the track. Got him on the hook. Here at West Virginia one more time. Two by two at turn 4. The check up contact, but everybody gets through cleanly. Hitt will set sail out of turn 2. The battle there for that final transfer spot. Burner around the T7 of Todd Smith. Now Clewell to the inside. It's Hicks and Burner. Hicks holds the transfer spot. Now Burner puts the pressure to the inside. 5 to go this time by. And that battle heats up between Billy Hicks and Keith Burner. Laps in the record book. Bryant still strolling with a 7-car length lead over the 6 of Billy Hicks. The 96 of Keith Berner in third. Clewell in fourth. Your leader will look at 2 to go this time underneath the flag stand. Hicks still in second, Berner in third, and Courtney Clewell in fourth. White flag waves here in the first of 3 B mains. Timmy Hitt will head out of turn 2 and hit the backstretch with an 8-car length advantage over the 6 of Billy Hicks. Berner closes the gap somewhat. He'll have to make a tremendous charge to make this Dirt Track World Championship field. Berner tries it up on the high side, but nothing doing. Your winner underneath the flag stand in the checkers. Timmy Hitt out of Weston, West Virginia. Billy Hicks second, Keith Berner third. Courtney Clewell fourth. That battle for fifth was too tight to call. We'll have to get it from race officials.
Means we're going green next time around for 25. They're going now. Signal is out. They're kind of got us fooled just a little bit on the start, but they're underway. It's R.J. Conley in the 71C with the early lead. John Mason will go into that second spot. Matt Urban in a battle with Ron Conley for third, and it's 42 Jake Harp, Jerry Bowersock rounding out the top 5. They come down for lap 1. It's R.J. Conley in the lead as we got trouble at turn 3. Stat turn number 3, looking for green this time. Matt Urban, R.J. Conley leading the group out of turn number 4. We go back to green. John Mason battling it out with Ron Conley for second as we got him up on the wall in turn number 1. And the caution flag will wave one more time. The Pac-Man, Patrick Klein, also spinning in turn number 3. We slow him down once again, trying to get in this second consolation event. Once we get her going, we may go for the full 25 laps. Quarter of that automobile. More time will set the pace. Looking for green. They bunch up nice and tight. Pac-Man comes on the track. Morrison back on the track. We're on the way. R.J. Conley takes John Mason, Matt Urban, Rod Conley, and Mike Galt down the backstretch. Your top 5 going at it in turn number 4. Conley will lead them coming down the front chute. 1 lap going on the scoreboard. Pac-Man, Patrick Klein spinning again in turn number 4. He's going to get her back underway. We're going to stay on the green flag. R.J. Conley, the driver out of Wheelersburg, Ohio, putting the pedal to the metal, coming out of turn number 4. John Mason trying to reel him in. Matt Urban along with Rod Conley, Mike Galt, and Jerry Bowersock all chasing your leader. Rod Conley on the outside of Mike Galt. That's the battle for the number 4 spot. And Mason tags the wall in turn number 3. John Mason getting into the wall. That upset the car for a minute. Matt Urban trying to close in now on the second place racing John Mason automobile. Caution flag is out. Jason Montgomery into the inside retaining wall here on the front stretch. That'll slow him down.
Not a whole lot of damage on the race car, but he's got it headed in the right direction right now.
We got 3 down and 22 left to go.
Racing again here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Matt Urban tries to charge on the outside. They'll stack it 3 wide coming out of turn 4 for the second position. Mason gets pinched and shuffled back out of that transfer spot. Now Mason dives to the inside of Matt Urban, but nothing doing as Urban slams the door. The leaders feather out into turn 3. Conley, Urban, and Mason tags the wall one more time. John Mason, damage to the nose and to the rear of the car. John Mason cannot keep the car down low enough that wants to drift up and hit 8 concrete for the second time in 4 laps down in this event. Now Mason drifts back one more time, slipping spot after spot. Top 2 cars setting sail on this field as they are checking out.
Mike Smith gets spun around. Everybody spins to avoid. And Mike Stacere coming to rest at the bottom of turn number 2. Caution flag out to the field. Mike is done for this afternoon. Also, Junior Simmons pulling the number 16 into the pit area.
Out here, they're green again at the cone on the backstretch. Well, they're side by side entering turn 1. The whole field right there racing side by side. All but your leaders, they've checked out one more time. Pace the field into turn 3. That cushion getting ever so close to that center turn 3 and 4 wall there where the apex of the turn is. Same problem John Mason had. 12. Next time by, they'll pick up the cross flags halfway through this event.
R.J. Conley continuing to lead this event, but Matt Urban is closing the gap. Mike Gall running in the third spot. Rod Conley in a battle with Mike Smith for fourth. It's John Mason sixth. Good battle for seventh between Dennis Erb Jr. and Jerry Bowersock. DJ Myers runs ninth, and Todd Andrews now going around Skip Hart for the number 10 position.
Backman. Patrick Klein losing the handle one more time at turn 1 and 2. Got a little help and a little contact there. Oh.
Well, again, it was the Pac-Man spinning in turn number 1 this time. Mike Cesare collecting him up as the number 35, sustaining a little bit of damage to the front of that machine. But the Pac-Man again bringing out the caution flag, and I do believe it may be it for the number 9.
World Championship Bud Bear automotive pace truck sitting right down there on the pit lane on the front stretch. What a beautiful automobile. Green flag waves one more time. Urban to the inside. Urban maybe gets a jump here on Conley. Conley slams the door out of turn 4, and here we are racing again at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Everybody clean through turns 1 and 2. That battle, Mike Smith has moved himself up to there to battle for that final transfer spot. Smith checks to the backside of the 1U, Matt Urban. 10 laps to go that time by. Now Smith to the bottom. It's Smith and Urban coming out of turn 2. Now Smith charges to the bottom, takes the S1 and just digs that bottom. Urban powers out of 4, holds on to the second position. Still holding on to that second final transfer spot, but Mike Smith one more time charges to the inside. Smith now pulls alongside of Urban down the backstretch. Now pulls and edges the front. Slide job coming! Slide job by Mike Smith on Matt Urban and makes it stick. Smith now holds on to that final transfer spot. The Gaunt machine seems to be losing the handle as he's having problems sliding here in the 4th position. Turn 4, he's going to take that 5 to go signal from the scoring tower man. At the flag stand, Mike Gibson. Now Smith to the backside of Conley. He sets his sights on maybe winning this P-Main. Riding the high side. Smith down low, and Smith is closing the gap. The question remains, will there be enough laps for him to get back and make that challenge? And Smith charges one more time to the inside. Conley holds the line on the outside. 22 laps down this time by. charges one more time. Seems to pick up a lot of space there in turn 3. It can't make it happen. They take the 2 to go signal from flagman Michael Gibson. White flag waves over the 71C of R.J. Conley. John Mason pulls down to the low side on the backstretch. He'll pull it in. Mason pulls it in. We'll see what happens with that 72 machine. Your leaders into turn 4. Smith, one last charge. R.J. Conley takes the win. Michael Smith out of Sandyville, West Virginia, coming home second. Now the all-important weigh-in. Those cars taking a hit right there. We'll see what happens as they go through the United Dirt Track Racing Association rules technical inspection.
For the driver out of Wheelersburg, Ohio, the Rocket Chassis, Conley Trucking, number 71C of R.J. Conley. And he's got her on the scale. He gets the thumbs up, and R.J. Conley goes to the Dirt Track World Championship. Now, get in. We're going to find out who those 2 drivers will be. Salafi and Wallace lead them out of 4. Here they come. We're underway. Wendell Wallace gets the good jump. Clint Smith down on the inside, but Salafi will hold the high groove as they go down the backstretch. Delmas Conley runs in 4th. Kenny Grissenberry 5th, and Dale McDowell running 6th. Field thunders through turns 3 and 4. Down the front chute, Wendell Wallace, your early leader. Dorsey in trouble in turn 3 as he loops it up high. Number 4, Salafi and Wallace leads the herd out of the 4th quarter. Here we go. Wendell Wallace gets the jump, but it's Bob Salafi getting a good line on the inside. Clint Smith at the bottom of the racetrack. Al Atkinson pulling a number 29 in pit side, and we've got one crossed up in turn number 2. Caution flag is out. Flag is Andy Bond also pulling into the infield. Al Atkinson dove in on the green flag. Andy Bond now pulling the A10 in pit side. We'll see if he comes back out. Pick up the pace out of 4. Green waves. We're back to racing. Wendell Wallace on the high side. He'll lead the pack coming out of turn number 2, and they head down the backstretch. Salafi will pick up 2nd. Clint Smith running 3rd. Dale McDowell grabs the number 4 spot. Brett Steele in a battle with Kenny Grissenberry and Delmas Conley for 5th. Jimmy Mars goes around Brett Steele. He'll pick up the number 7 running position. Salafi has Clint Smith down on the inside. That's the battle for 2nd. Smith at the bottom of the racetrack. Salafi up by the wall. Bob Salafi will hold on to that number 2 spot. Dale McDowell holding down the number 4 position. Delmas Conley running 5th, and Jimmy Mars on the move in the number 1. He's battling with Kenny Grissenberry for the number 6 spot. Wendell Wallace way out front in this one early on in our last consolation event, but the good battle goes on for 2nd between Clint Smith and the RG3 of Bob Salafi. Smith running the bottom of the racetrack. Salafi closing in on the wall as they head into turn number 4. Down the front stretch, Salathie will retain that number 2 spot. Jimmy Mars now going to work on the inside of Delmas Conley. That's for the number 5 position. Mars trying to pick his way through the field and get in. He's still got a long way to go, but he gets by Delmas Conley. Jimmy Mars now running 5th. Bob Salathie still in a battle with Clint Smith for the final transfer spot. Dale McDowell watching it all unfold in front of him. Salathie again up by the wall. Clint Smith dives underneath on a turn number 4. Down the front chute, drag race to the line. It's Salathie by less than a car length. Paul Wilmot, the junior, falling out of the event in the B1. Wilmot is done for the afternoon. Salathie will take that number 2 spot away from Clint Smith once again. Dale McDowell now closing in on your 2nd and 3rd place cars. Jimmy Mars also gaining real estate on the number 4th place position of Dale McDowell.
Wallace is a KG veteran, but so is Clint Smith, and that 44 machine is a different number than we're used to seeing Clint Smith in West Virginia. As Wallace jumps out to the lead, he'll take the point one more time. Clint Smith to the outside, and he makes the outside stick. Shuffles Bob Salathie back to 3rd, and Jimmy Mars is now up in the hunt in the Parker Stores number 1. Now Salathie to the inside of Mars. Salathie and Mars side by side exiting turn 2. Dale McDowell right there with him. A bunch of champions coming out of turn 4 right now. Only 2 get to go play in the dance tonight. Everybody else is going to have to watch and consider their run the best they could have done this weekend. Now Smith powers by the 1 of Jimmy Mars. Mars tries it on the inside. The car bobbles through the ruts in turns 3 and 4. All the while up front, Dale Wendell Wallace, the Batesville, Arkansas driver, checks out to 10 car lengths over the 44 of Clint Smith. The top 4 cars have feathered out. We'll run them by again at the halfway point unless something comes up between. Check through. Wendell Wallace sets his sights on the 69 of Dave Hilton. Hilton out of Marietta. He'll check to the low side. He knows the leaders are behind him. Hilton may be bringing the 69 in, or may just be driving the bottom. Looks like he's just driving the bottom, race fans. Staying out of everybody's way, keeping the car out on the racetrack. Hilton, the KG veteran himself. But Wallace now. A lap car between him and Clint Smith. Smith to the outside. Around the lap car. Sets his sight on making it in his dirt track world championship. We're halfway through this 3rd and final B main qualifier for the 2000 DTWC. is just absolutely checked out on this field. 15 car lengths to lead over the white and the dark numeral 44 of Clint Smith. Jimmy Morris still runs third. Dale McDowell fourth. And it looks like the 29 of Lanigan in fifth. Lanigan steadily moving up. I don't know if there'll be enough time to see if the GVS driver can make it into this feature event. Only time will tell. A caution wouldn't hurt his efforts either. Wallace up and to the backside of some lap traffic here as he enters the front stretch. We'll see what happens as Clint Smith would like to put the hammer down and make that pass. It'll put him up a few starting spots better than he finished if he finished second. So we'll see what happens here as this one pans out. As next time by, there'll be 18 laps in the book, but yellow waves here at West Virginia Motor Speedway.
Chet Alexander getting together, coming out of turn number 2, tagging each other right there in the middle of the backstretch, bringing out the caution flag. 17 in and 8 to go for the little man, Wendell Wallace.
Racing again here at the 5/8 mile speed plan. Caution, caution. All right, racing again here in the third and final qualifying event for the Dirt Track World Championship of 2000. Wallace, 3 wide out turn 4. McDowell and Lanigan, and look at this boot. Oh my gosh. Race fans, everyone away from the fence, please. Everyone away from the fence. Cars involve Clint Smith. The 00 of Chuck Harper, the 17M of Dale McDowell.
Well, that all took place.
Check. Check. It all took place now coming out of turn number 4. Darrell Lanigan went 3 wide, and everybody kind of jockeyed around right there. Dale McDowell got into the wall down here on the front stretch. Clint Smith got involved. Also the T7 of Todd Smith, but it was Chuck Harper that took the wild ride up on top of Clint Smith's number 44, got way up in the air and brought her back down on all 4 wheels, but nevertheless, that car totally damaged out of the event, and a tough break for Chuck Harper.
Is that the one Burdett went over top?
Has this race in hand with 8 laps to go, but definitely the battle now is Jimmy Mars along with Darrell Lanigan. One of those 3 drivers up front will not go. And it's
Flag waves here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. That battle for that second and final transfer spot will heat up one more time. It's Lanigan and Mars, and Lanigan with an edge on the outside. Lanigan now to the inside. Mars will have to make something happen here with only a few circuits remaining. 17 down, 8 circuits to go. Clayton Christenberry also in the fray, along with Bob Salafy. 18 down. The leaders have feathered out. A lot of room between them right now, as Wallace holds a 6-car length advantage over the 29 of Darrell Lanigan. Jimmy Mars in third, and Clayton Christenberry in fourth. Bob Salafy running in fifth. That's your top 5. Looks like Luke Bradish is in sixth. 17 of Lance Elson is in 7th position. As they roll out of turn 4, the leader takes the 5 to go sign from flag minute starter Michael Gibson. pulls out to a 12-car length advantage down the backstretch over the 29 of Lanigan. But now that battle for the final transfer spot heats up as Mars is coming and coming hard. He digs to the outside. One of those two drivers will make it through. Everybody else, well, we know the answer to that, so we don't have to go into it. Wallace still holding a 15-car length advantage over the 29 of Lanigan. This is where Morris makes up the room right here. He cracks the whip. Not so much made up that time, as Lanigan holds on to the spot at the flag stand with 22 laps in the book. Wallace closing in on back markers in this heat event. 2 to go to the leader. Lanigan running in second, Mars in third, Kristen Berry in fourth. The fifth running car, Bob Southey in the RG3. It's either put up and shut up time right here at West Virginia Motor Speedway between Darrell Lanigan and Jimmy Mars. You got to take a chance if you want to get in the dance. There it is, right there, coming out of turn 4. The battle for the final transfer spot. Taking a white flag. Lanigan in the 29, Mars in the 1. Lanigan checks up behind Dave Hilton. Mars lets the car drift and loses traction exiting turn 2. That will just about do it as your leader at a turn 4 out of Batesville, Arkansas in the 6 sim. Wendell Wallace riding home second in the 29 GVS Racing Special. Darrell Lanigan in third. Out of Elk Mound, Wisconsin in the 1 Parker Store Special. Jimmy Mars fourth to Clayton Christenberry in the 3 CV3, and RG3 of Bob Southey brings it home fifth. Well, check the all-important technical inspection and check in at the scales.
And final decision comes now down on the scales. The driver out of Batesville, Arkansas, apparent winner of this B main event, Wendell Wallace on the scales. Wendell Wallace gets across the scales in good shape. He's going to the Dirt Track World Championship.
With those famous words here at West Virginia Motor Speedway for the 20th running of the Dirt Track World Championship.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Pace trucks are now in motion. Your field is rolling. Steve Francis, Steve Shaver on the front row. It all started Saturday with 140 cars taking time trials. We wheeled that down to your 6 fastest through the dash. 18 cars come out of the heat events last night. 6 more came from this afternoon's consolation events. Provisionals were thrown in the back, and we've whittled it down to the best of the best in dirt track racing. It's time to pick your favorites. Who do you think's going to be this year's Dirt Track World Champion? That injured hand will elect to start at the tail. He picked up the injury last night. Let's wait with this time. Everybody. Test. Ready to go. They're going to bunch up. Get them nice and tight. Canoe battle. The gladiators are strapped in. They're going to go at it for 100 laps. $50,000 to the winner. Here they come in turn number 4. Steve Francis, Steve Shaver, bring them out of 4, and we are underway! Francis gets the bite down low. Steve Shaver will take him up on the high side, down the backstretch. Wheel to wheel and door to door in turn number 3. Steve Shaver with the early advantage, but Francis has a good line down low. Donnie Moran in the wall in turn 3. Shaver leads the first lap. Francis to the inside of Shaver again. Out of turn 2. Shaver will motor him down the backstretch. Bloomquist sits in 3rd. Freddie Smith has worked his way up the 4th. Steve Shaver with a good line. He'll bring him down the front chute in the lead. On the move, the Southern Gentleman has taken 3rd from Bloomquist. Freddie Smith now in your 3rd spot. Bloomquist back to 4th. Bart Hartman runs 5th. Steve Shaver and Steve Francis up front. Freddie Smith and Scott Bloomquist, Bart Hartman and Gary Stiller. Francis on the back bumper of Shaver, but won't get the job done in turn number 2. Ecker and Dan Sleeper trading paint on the front stretch. They straighten it out. Sleeper again to the outside of Rick Eckert down the back chute and into turn number 3. Shaver, Francis, Freddie Smith, Bloomquist, and Hartman, your top 5. Cars start to stretch out on the speedway as we complete lap number 7 this time by. Everybody battling for a position out on the racetrack. Francis has the number 30 in his sights but can't seem to reel him in. Freddie Smith inching closer towards Steve Francis. The Southern Gentleman started in 7th. He's worked his way into 3rd, and he is gaining ground on your leaders. Scott Bloomquist runs by himself in fourth. Bart Hartman all alone in fifth. Your leaders now approaching slower traffic. Freddie Smith coming on like gangbusters out of turn 4. Closing in on Steve Francis for the number 2 spot is your leader, Steve Shaver. Closing in on the slower traffic. They're going to have to weed their way through. Shaver coming up on the 19 of Jeremy Miller. He'll go by on the inside. Francis slips. Here comes Freddie Smith. Laps down, 90 laps remaining. It's Steve Shaver, Freddie Smith to the inside of Steve Francis for a second. The battle for the number 2 spot. Smith to the inside, Francis to the outside. They bring it into turn number 4. Francis with a good line, and he'll drag Freddie Smith across the line.
Smith to the low side, Francis to the high side. Now Smith pulls him off the corner. Pulls up in front, but no. Leaves room for Francis to stay there. Nothing happening as Smith now takes the position away. Looking to put the 99 of the red down to the leaders. Now Smith solidly in second at the flag stand. Francis charges back on the inside. Now Francis and Smith side by side as they exit turn 2. Now Francis stretches the neck out. Now the back stretch, and he'll take that position away. The leaders bobbing up in traffic now. Shaver threading the needle on the low side. Freddie Smith around Francis one more time. Francis to the high side. This is great racing, fans. Oh, he checks up behind Mike Smith. Now, to the backside of the 30 goes the 00 Freddie Smith. And Francis charges back one more time on the outside. Of Billy Hicks. Hicks now checks to the outside. Shaver now looking at R.J. Conley. Looking to put the smoke on the 71C boy. Out of turn 2. Shaver has to check up as the car gets loose. Freddie Smith taking a low line around the speedway, and Francis hanging there like a vulture. Those are your top 3. The 0 of Bloomquist. Bloomquist maybe waiting for the tires to come in. We'll see what happens. Only one car out of this event, the E1 of Mike Balzano. Now Bloomquist looks to the back of Billy Hicks. He'll be sending his sights on the 15 of Francis. Ever so slowly through those turns to make sure the car doesn't get loose and get out of control. Back up front. Shaver having his hands full with R.J. Conley. Freddie Smith looks like he says, hey, you make a mistake, Steve, and I'll take the lead. Maybe claim the 6th championship. Shaver to the high side. Smith to the low side. Freddie charges down low, but the door slammed on him at the flag stand. As Shaver gets around R.J. Conley. Now, Freddie Smith. Conley between the 2, a lap car between the 1st and 2nd position drivers. Francis right there, then Scott Bloomquist, and then the 11 of Bart Hartman. Not a whole lot of changes up there. Racing is hot and heavy though here with 18 laps of actually 19 laps of the month. into second. Bart Hartman dead in the water on the backstretch. Looks like Bart might have a flat tire. Balzano retiring from this event. Balzano having to retire with that injured hand, looking to probably have surgery in the morning on that hand, as he took a rock through the driver's cage, and it shattered the one finger completely. Suspension problems on the 11 car, the Tim Logan Motorsports Special. All kinds of problems there. The team will see what they can do with it, but it looks like that is terminal.
Number 100, he's going to come back out. Freddie, the Kentucky Colonel, Steve Francis. 100 Balzano making his way back to the pits, and Donnie Moran out of competition.
Laps, green to checker, but we didn't quite do that. That he's not ever captured, and he said it on Speed Vision about a month ago. This is one that he really needs to have for his career to be complete.
We're getting down into turn 3. We're gonna go green!
Man, look at the gaggle of cars coming out of turn 4 as they roar to life here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Shaver still to the point. Freddie Smith in second. Now Bloomquist gets shipped back, and Rick Auckland dives to the inside of the Mooresburg, Tennessee native. Now the 12 and the 0 side by side as they enter turn 3. Bloomquist lets the car drift up towards the cushion. Not a whole lot left up there. And everybody chills out a little bit as that first restart lap. Boyer still riding in 6th, but getting pressure right there from Gary Stuhler. Eckert right behind him, and the 6M of Wendell Wallace right there also. Davey Johnson's made a tremendous move in his field. He's worked on the car during that B main to get it dialed in. 25 down, 75 to go. Eckert and Wallace battle right there for position down the front chute. Eckert to the inside. Now Davey Johnson going to make it 3 wide in turn 2. Johnson all over the York, Pennsylvania driver, and he shoves him up to the wall. Davey Johnson takes that position away down the backstretch. Shaver turning that lead into 7 car lengths as he exits turn 4. Freddie Smith rides in second. Not much change back in there as Francis holds on to the 3rd position. Bloomquist and then Rick Auckland. Billy Moyer right there, the 25 of Gary Stuhler. Everybody's in line, but nobody's racing single file. They're all over the speedway trying to find a fast way around West Virginia Motor here this weekend. Takes a peek to the inside of Bloomquist. Nothing happening there. Now, the 6M of Wallace takes the spot away from Stuhler down the back chute. And all the while, Davey Johnson's coming like a charger. Watch him on the inside. Johnson now to the inside of Stuhler. And then he'll put the move on Wallace. Not happening this time, but they know that Davey's there. Now look at the battle up front. As Shaver and Freddie Smith are going at it right now. Francis Smith to the inside. The 00 checks to the side. And Shaver will hold the position at the stripe. 31 laps down. 69 remain here in the 2000 Dirt Track World Championship. Freddie Smith with a great run right there. We'll have to check up, maybe cool the tires down just a little bit. Now Freddie Smith digs to the inside. Freddie going to blow beside Shaver, but he slams the door at the flag stand. Bloomquist still trying to ride high down there to stay up with the pack. There must be a little bit of moisture still up there, or the Mooresburg, Tennessee driver wouldn't be there.
Steve Shaver continuing to show the fast way around the racetrack. He's got Freddie Smith, Steve Francis, Scott Bloomquist all chasing him down. Francis now takes a look to the inside of Freddie Smith in the second spot. Smith slams the door shut in turn number 3. Bloomquist continuing to try and close it on Steve Francis. Bob Pierce ducks into the infield. Pierce out of the event. Smith down on the bottom of the racetrack. Took a look underneath Shaver. Caution flag is out. Steve Francis working on Freddie Smith. Scott Bloomquist trying to reel both of those two in. We're getting close to the halfway point, Doc, and still a fantastic race up front.
There's about 7 different prize fights going on out there right now. Everybody's battling and maneuvering to be there on the last 10 laps. I tell you, on the move. He's out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. He started with a provisional, and he has brought the 1J to the front. Everybody take a look where that 1J machine is. He is riding in 6th, 7th, should be about 8th position right now. And if we look at that starting position, Davey Johnson started 30 seconds.
And he's the move, but a tough break for Billy Moyer, the driver out of Batesville, Arkansas, in the Petroff Trucking, number 21. He limps it in pit side, right front tire down on the rim. Crew is going to have to do some quick work to get him back out. Crew right now surveying the damage on the Billy Moyer, number 21. Suspension damage on the vehicle, eliminating from this Dirt Track World Championship. We'll just have to wait and see.
Racing again here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Oh, Mooresburg, Tennessee. Scott Bloomquist, and cars get all over the wall. Ronnie Johnson, and caution a wave here as Ronnie Johnson all over the wall. The right front car, the right front tire on that machine hits the wall wickedly, and he is done for this event. Look at the damage as he'll try and turn pit side. No way. The right looks like another tie rod end. It's been a weekend of tie rod ends here at West Virginia Motor Speedway.
Well, what a tough break for Thomas Ware, the Undertaker, too, as he collected the wall over there in turn number 3. Smacked her pretty hard. It was synchronized spinning up in the corner as both Ronnie Johnson and Thomas Ware collecting the wall in turn 3, and that's going to eliminate both cars from this event. And what a tough break as both drivers are looking to capture the Dirt Track World Championship. It would have been the 3rd one for RJ, but not to be this year as too much damage on the number 5, eliminating him from this event. They tagged the wall in turn number 3. 1 lap signal given. Pace truck pulls in. We're going green next time by. Second right behind your leader. Here comes Freddie Smith to the inside. The Southern gentleman made the move. Bloomquist down low. Out of 4, they come. Freddie Smith, your new leader.
Bloomquist was digging to the inside, and now he's right there on the knocking on the door to the outside of Francis. 3-car battle for the lead out of turn 2. But the 0-0 of Freddie Smith, determined to be the only 6-time world champion of the dirt track right here. 3-car lengths to lead over 15 of Francis.
Bloomquist now to the outside of Steve Francis, won't get it done. Shaver off the pace just a little bit. Wendell Wallace will take the number 4 spot from Rick Auckland. Out of 4 they come. It's Freddie Smith, Steve Francis, Scott Bloomquist. Auckland in a battle with Wendell Wallace for the number 4 spot. Give it to Wallace across the line.
Now Smith turns that lead into 6 car lengths as he exits turn 2. The top three have feathered out. The battle there between Wallace and Auckland, and Wallace wins the battle into turn 3. Auckland a pull to the inside, but the momentum on a pull. Wallace by here at the flag stand, and it does. Now Freddie Smith getting ready to check out on this field one more time. 7 car lengths to lead over the 15 of Francis. Then the 0, always a bridesmaid, never a bride here in the Dirt Track World Championship, Scott Bloomquist. And now that battle heated back up there as Auckland pulled to the inside of the Monday Trucking 6M of Wendell Wallace, but nothing happening. Now Wallace tracking down the 0 of Bloomquist. 38 laps in the book. 62 hard charging laps remain. Freddie Smith having it his way right now. This time by 40 laps down, 60 to go. Your leader, the 00, Freddie Smith. Smith, 8 car lengths to lead out of turn 2 over the 15 of Francis. Then the Bloomquist in 3rd. Wendell Wallace in 4th. Auckland in 5th. Steve Shaver in 6th. That's your top 6 as they're running through 40 laps. Rick Eckert suffering some type of mechanical problem, pulls to the outside wall there in turn 2, bringing out the caution. The 4th caution of this event. Looks like tire problems for the 24. Davey Johnson had made a big move, race fans, and he's kind of settled in that 9th spot. Maybe that damage on that restart doing something to the Rocket House car.
Back to get underway. Darrell Lanigan has worked his way towards the top 10. After point, and we go back to green. Comes thundering out of turn number 4. Francis taking a look to the inside of Freddie Smith across the line. Smith by a car length as they take her into turn number 1. Francis sideways in turn 1. Bloomquist to the outside of Francis. They're side by side down the backstretch. Give the number 2 spot to Scott Bloomquist. Wallace has worked his way from 4th, challenging Steve Francis for the number 3 spot. Down the line, Wallace to the inside. Wendell Wallace is on the move. Francis takes a look to the inside of Wallace as they head down the back chute. It's Freddie Smith, Scott Bloomquist, and then Francis and Wallace battling it out. Rick Auckland sitting in 5th. Dan Schliefer running in the number 6 spot. Davey Johnson now running 7th. Johnson continuing to peck away at the field. Francis to the inside of Wallace. He tags all. Steve Francis and all in turn 4. And John Gill is also in the wall and 4. The caution flag is out. The modern day cowboy collecting the wall in turn number 4, bringing out the caution flag.
J7399. If you hustle, you can go get that thing moved, let this guy out while this wrecker's hooking up John Gill here. This gentleman has an emergency that he needs to tend to. Please go move that green Toyota pickup if it's yours.
Oh, John Gill up on the hook. started in the number 4 position. And now he will go to the tail if pit repairs can be made down on the front stretch. Well, how about it? How many of you think Freddie Smith can get it done for his 6th world title? Signal given to the field. We go green next time by. Pace truck will pull into the infield.
Bloomquist on the inside. Wallace right there. 3 Alabama regulars battling for the Dirt Track World Championship right now. Bloomquist to the inside, but Freddie slams the door on him at the flag stand. Davey Johnson with a big restart as he moves up a spot or 2. Johnson to the backside of Steve Shaver. Up front, Smith able to power away from Bloomquist. As they come out of 4, we'll bring them to you as it happens. Freddie Smith is in the lead. In second, the 0 of Bloomquist. Wallace, then the 12 of Auckland. The 15 of Francis, and side by side are Davey Johnson and Steve Shaver. Ryan Burkhofer knocking on the door right there. Dale Lanigan and Dwayne Hummel. Jackie Boggs, Steve Lucas, and Mark Manal. John Mason still having a pretty decent run out here in the 72 machine. Smith now 6 car lengths to lead over Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist would love to be the bride in this thing one time in his career. Now Wallace pulls to the outside. He will check up, and he is 4 car lengths back of second place running Scott Bloomquist. 4th is still Rick Eckert. 5th is Francis. Francis, after tagging the wall, has recovered slightly, but it doesn't seem like he has the same momentum he had before that contact. Shaver still runs right there, and Davey Johnson right behind Shaver. It's Burkhofer, then the 29 of Lanigan, the H2 of Dwayne Hummel. Halfway this time by. Freddie Smith takes the cross flags. Halfway through, 50 down and 50 to go. In this 20th anniversary of the Dirt Track World Championship here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Shaver and Francis hook up together. What an ugly mess that was as Shaver loses the whole front of the car. And the winners in that deal were Davey Johnson as Johnson powers by. Half of Shaver's front of his car is hanging off the backside of Steve Francis's 15. Now, Burkhofer to the inside. Shaver's car going crazy up on the high side. No aerodynamics now as there's no downforce on the front of that car. Now Lanigan to the inside. 2 wide racing down here in turns 3 and 4. Gotta follow that action into turn 1. Davey Johnson loses a roof support, and he's got a flapper going into turn 2. It's Johnson, Burkhofer, Francis, now Lanigan. Shaver dropping way back as he has lost all kinds of front end pieces. No more aerodynamics on that car. And now Dwayne Hummel to the backside of the 30 machine. Back up front. Freddie Smith with 6 car lengths, still maintaining 6 car lengths as caution flies. Caution flies here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. 53 laps in the books. Well, I'm telling you, race fans, they're getting after it pretty hot and heavy there. 3 and 4, you had Davey Johnson coming out of turns 1 and 2. Now, Rick, they got the sleeper mount. They got the tire back on the sleeper mount down there, and he's rolling towards the pits. Tough Eldora Motor Speedway, and, of course, the king of losing wheels, Bristol Motor Speedway. The Southern Gentleman takes the green, and we're racing here at West Virginia Motor Speedway with 53 laps down, 47 to go. Smith will ride it high. He'll hold the lead at a turn 4 and at the flag stand. It's Smith, Wallace, Bloomquist. Davey Johnson down to the inside as Johnson pulls a slick one beside Rick Auckland. Now Johnson to the inside of Scott Bloomquist. Now Auckland challenges back to the inside, digging hard down low. Johnson will hold him off at the flag stand with 54 laps gone. That battle not done up front. If it's been like everything else this weekend, no lead is safe. Steve Lucas to the inside, contacted Lanigan, shoves Dwayne Hobble into the wall, and that collects up Billy Hicks. Hobble able to continue, but he's got suspension damage as he cracked the outside retaining wall at about 100 miles an hour, and that'll do some serious damage to some serious metal.
Of Wendell Wallace on the restart. Freddie Smith seems to like the low groove, but he drifts up in turn number 3. We'll see how it all shakes out as we're ready to go.
Smith takes the green flag one more time, and let's see the line he takes if he can block the 0 Bloomquist. Wallace rides high, and Davey Johnson to the inside. Johnson coming like a madman. He's possessed. He told me down there before the driver's introductions that he had the car dialed in. He had it dialed in before all the dents and dings is taken, but watch him as he charges to the front. It's going to be tough to overtake the crafty veteran, Freddie Smith. But now Wallace charges to the outside, trying a different line, that time through 1 and 2. Wallace might have found a little combination as he closed the gap that time on Freddie Smith. Now Freddie pulls away down the front stretch. Wallace one more time will battle it out. The top 5 cars have feathered it out. It's Smith, Wallace, Bloomquist, Davey Johnson, and Auckland. And Auckland puts the charge on the bottom side as he pinches the nose of the 12 down, trying to make it stick underneath the 1J of Davey Johnson. That battle for 17th between the two 15 machines as Brian Burkhofer and Steve Francis are going at it. Burkhofer wins the battle that lap. The 29 of Darrell Lanigan right there. The 4B of Jackie Boggs, the T8 of Mark Manal. Now Smith pulls out to 6 car lengths down the backstretch over Wallace. Wallace the same distance over Bloomquist and identically the distance over Davey Johnson. Now Wallace up in the loose stuff is going to allow Bloomquist to get a run off of turn 4, and Scott Bloomquist to the inside of turn 1. Wallace must have some horses underneath that machine, all in the loose stuff in turn 4, and still holds the position down the backstretch. 60 laps in, 61 will be down this time by. Now, Freddie Smith will roll through turn 4. The lead is up to 9 car lengths over Wendell Wallace. That slip and bob will help Scott Bloomquist, but it really helped Freddie Smith. Freddie Smith running the low line, and he is just picking up speed. Rubber must be getting laid down there in 1 and 2 because the 00 is just sticking like glue to the bottom of the racetrack down there. 63 laps down, this time by. cluster out of turn 4. Francis causes the caution this time around. Something going amiss on the Ashland, Kentucky driver's machine. It will not be a repeat for Steve Francis here in 2000.
Is all that will be left when we go back to green with 37 laps left to go. Defending champion out of the event, Steve Francis, the driver out of Ashland, Kentucky. As they head into turn number 3. Looking for green, coming out of the corner. Bloomquist to the outside of Wendell Wallace. We get the green down the front stretch, back underway. Here comes Davey Johnson again.
Johnson takes it in the inside of turn 2, looks to the inside of Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist will shut it on him out of turn 2. Freddie Smith. Would it be sweet to be the only 6-time Dirt Track World Champion? It would look like things were almost always going his way, but it hasn't happened that way. The winner of this year's event will be the new winner of the new millennium here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. But Davey Johnson working on the backside of Scott Bloomquist. Nothing happened as caution. Caution one more time here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Jeep Van Warmer causing this caution, coming to rest there at the bottom of turn 4. And I thought I had it all done in the car and out of here, and boom, we got a different winner. I'd be hurting bad, I know that. So don't be leaving, don't be checking out of here too soon.
Well, if any driver hasn't laid all their cards out on the table, it's time to pull that ace out of the hole, as we're just about ready to go. Only 36 circuits around the West Virginia Motor Speedway before we crown the champion.
A warrior in the Steve Lucas machine, but Freddie Smith will take him to the cone on the backstretch. Green flag a wave here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. One more time with 64 laps ticked off in the books. Wallace to the inside of Bloomquist. Now Wallace lets the car drift high. Davey Johnson will dive below, but Bloomquist will hold him off down the backstretch. It's Smith, Bloomquist, Wallace, Davey Johnson, and Brian Burkhoff for your top 5. Now Johnson to the inside of Wallace. Nothing doing as the 1J really gets loose out of turn 2. Now Bloomquist charges to the inside of Freddie Smith, letting Freddie know he's there. It's about time to play this thing out. Oh, Bloomquist power to the outside. Scott Bloomquist. Oh, can't make it stick. Freddie Smith holding off those last 2 lap charges. The Mooresburg, Tennessee driver, the 2000 Hava Tampa champion. He's got it off at turn 2 again. Now he'll go to the inside, but Freddie shuts the door on him one more time. Lot of love lost between these 2 guys. Now Bloomer tries him a different way. Bloomer set the right front on it. Freddie's left quarter panel, rear quarter panel, letting him know he was there. Now Scott goes to the outside. Scott puts the hammer out in the dust, and they'll come side by side down the back chute. One more time. This is great racing here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Smith gets sideways. Bloomquist on the outside. Bloomquist, your new leader, as Freddie Smith loses it in turn number 2. Caution flag is out. Freddie Smith, the leader, through lap number 69. Your new leader, Scott Bloomquist. Freddie with rear end problems.
And Freddie Smith took a run that time at Bloomquist. Bloomquist got out of the way. Freddie Smith unhappy with what happened in turn number 1. A little dejected behind the wheel. And Bloomer escaped any kind of damage in that 0 car. But there he is, the Southern gentleman, Freddie Smith. Had the lead for 35 laps, Doc. What excitement in turn number 1 in a brand new race. Well, the Southern gentleman now will have to go to the tail.
Only at the Dirt Track World Championship, gentlemen.
Well, a mini drivers meeting, if you will, on the backstretch. Freddie Smith leading the event. Scott Bloomquist inheriting the lead.
Well, one thing you got to know, that if Mooney Star puts it down as a law, those two are going to follow it, or they'll put her in on the hauler. So let's see what happens when this is all said and done. Hey, race fans, if you're enjoying this Dirt Track World Championship, let these promoters know about it. You want it here again in 2001, let them know about it.
Have not got the official word yet as the car's back underway.
All 3 chiefs on the backstretch and no Indians, so that you know there's a decision going to come out of this one. Compare in Washington, PA. Looks like we've got this thing fanned out, if that's where the pace truck picks her up, Rick.
Well, it looks like Freddie Smith is going to retain that top position. Not sure how this all shook out. Then again, who knows what's happened? We haven't got an official word, and we don't have them lined up either, Doc. But talk with Mooney possibly to find out what's shaking down as the 6M car way out ahead of the field. Now Freddie Smith will make the move. Hard telling what's going on here. We're just going to have to wait and see. No indication as of yet. Freddie Smith looks as he may be heading towards the tail of the event. Scott Bloomquist will be your leader. Hard to tell at this point. He's up front behind the pace truck. And had to come from the back and run back up towards the front, so it's hard to say what's going to happen here as Freddie Smith and Bloomquist again stopped on the backstretch. Field continuing to roll around the racetrack.
Fans, it looks like it's starting to get sorted out here. We still don't have any word of what went on, but we obviously know there was a lot of discussion of some sort or another. But right now, if you took the take, it looks like the 0 and the 00 tagged the tail for their incident on track. I say Scott Bloomquist goes for the bump, Freddie goes for the after or the return effect coming back.
Well, that
will always get you something.
That's going to change things all the way around. Wendell Wallace, your new leader. Davey Johnson, second. Brian Burkhofer, third. Green.
Wallace takes the green on the backstretch. Now Davey Johnson to the inside. The 15 of Burkhofer right there. Now Johnson will take over the second spot out of turn 4. All the while, the 6M will win to Wallace. Wallace all the way from a 27th starting spot, now up front here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Wallace winning Consi number 3 here this afternoon. Oh, the 72 of John Mason spins around. No contact with any other vehicles. The caution will wave. The caution will wave for the 72 of Mason. But Mason, an iron horse here today, was 70 laps down, 30 to go. Mason, Jackie Boggs in a 4B, hanging around. Gary Stuhler in and out of the pits, a little tweaking here, a little tweaking there. He's still in the hunt. They'll double wide, stack him up for this restart. Mike.
At this point, Doc, but we're going to sort it out in 30 more trips around as we get ready to go.
Wallace brings him to the cone of the backstretch. Mooney Star pulls it away, and we're racing again with 30 laps to go, 30 laps remaining in this 20th historical running of the Dirt Track World Championship as Davey Johnson dives easy off the turn 1 berm, and he'll hold off Brian Burkhofer. Now Johnson sets his sights on Wendell Wallace. They're 4-1 turn 2 as the 00 Freddie Smith and the 0 Bloomquist are side by side down the backstretch. Now they'll make it 3 wide. Gary Stuhler caught on the outside right there, and Stuhler and Bloomquist make contact. Smith to the inside. That race for position right there as Bloomquist. Now to the outside with Stuhler. Bloomquist and Stuhler, but Freddie Smith pulls ahead. Freddie Smith now to the backside of the 4B and Jackie Boggs. Up front, Wallace holds on to a 3-car length advantage over Davey Johnson. Burkhofer in 3rd, Auckland in 4th. Lanigan in 5th, Jackie Boggs in 6th, and Freddie Smith all the way back up to 7th. Side by side on the backstretch. Van Warmer takes the position out of turn 4. Bunnell fights back down the straightaway. It's Smith and Bloomquist battling for that 7th spot. They'll pull to the backside of Jackie Boggs. Up front and coming out a 4-year leader. 75 laps down, 25 to go. Wallace holds on to a 10-car length advantage over Davey Johnson. Then it's Brian Burkhofer in 3rd, Rick Auckland in 4th. Darrell Lanigan in 5th, Jackie Boggs in 6th. 7th and 8th, that battle and put them both in the tail. Heats up one more time. The 00 Freddie Smith and the 0 Scott Bloomquist. Now Freddie to the inside. Pressure coming all over the 4B of Boggs. Freddie will take Boggs out of turn 2. He'll pressure him down the backstretch. Boggs will check in and take the position. The car drifts high. Freddie dives low. And the 25 of Gary Stuhler into the...
.24 laps left to go as Gary Stuhler bringing out the caution flag. Wendell Wallace, year leader in 6M. Davey Johnson in 2nd. Brian Burkhofer 3rd. Rick Auckland 4th. Darrell Lanigan 5th. Ready to go back to green. Wallace picks up the pace of field, back underway. looking for it out of turn number 4 as we turn them loose one more time. Back to green. Davey Johnson battling side by side with Brian Burkhofer. Won't get the job done. Freddie Smith gets by Jackie Boggs. Bloomquist to the outside of Boggs, battling for the number 7 spot. Freddie works the inside of Darrell Lanigan. Freddie Smith now back in the number 5 spot. Bloomquist trying the inside of Lanigan, couldn't make it happen in turn number 1. Wendell Wallace trying to run away and hide. Smith working in that 5th spot, trying to gain ground on Rick Auckland for 4th. Bloomquist gets by Lanigan, now running in the number 6 spot. It'll be 20 to go next time by. Davey Johnson holding off Brian Burkhofer and Rick Auckland. Field stretches out down the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4. Wallace on the point, 20 to go. Now goes to the inside of Darrell Lanigan. Jackie Boggs will take over the number 7 spot. Lanigan back to 8th, Mason to 9th, Jeep Van Wormer rounding out the top 10. Freddie Smith closing in on Rick Auckland for the number 4 position. Scott Bloomquist also closing in as Jackie Boggs tags the wall in turn 3. Smith now on the back bumper of Rick Auckland. That's the battle for 4th. Scott Bloomquist directly behind that battle as they head into turn number 3. Wallace, Johnson, Burkhofer, your top 3 cars. Freddie Smith down on the inside of Rick Auckland. Here comes Freddie Smith. Mark Bunnell off the pace in the T8 car. He's going to take it pit side. That'll probably be it for Mark Bunnell. Bloomquist now closing in on Rick Auckland. That's the battle for the number 5 spot. Wendell Wallace down the front stretch and into 1. Davey Johnson behind him. Then it's Burkhofer, Smith, but the battle goes on between Auckland and Bloomquist. Bloomer to the outside of Rick Auckland, looking for the number 5 spot. He'll take it down the backstretch. Scott Bloomquist now in 5th. Bloomquist out of charge. He's chasing down Freddie Smith. Could be a battle for 4th spot coming up here shortly. Brian Burkhofer directly in front of Smith and Bloomquist, your 3rd place car. R.J. Conley pulling the 71C into the pit area. Axle shifting on that automobile. It'll probably knock him out of contention as we have 11 laps to go next time by. 88 in and 12 to go. 10-lap signal next time around. Wendell Wallace, your leader in the 6M. Davey Johnson at second. Brian Burkhofer third. Freddie Smith fourth. Scott Bloomquist fifth. Double Nichols, 10 to go. Wallace puts a lap on Billy Hicks in the number 6 car as he heads into turn number 3. Wendell Wallace closes in on the S1 of Mike Smith, trying to put that car a lap down. Into turn number 1 they go. Wendell Wallace closing in on the S1 car. Davey Johnson trying to put a lap on Billy Hicks, running in the number 2 spot. Bloomquist again has caught Freddie Smith. That's the battle for 4th. Rick Auckland running in 5th, Jackie Boggs running 6th, John Mason 7th, Darrell Lanigan 8th, Jeep Van Wormer 9th, and Mike Smith running 10th. It'll be 5 laps to go the next time around for Wendell Wallace. He's got a quarter track lead over 2nd place Davey Johnson as Bloomquist goes to the outside of Freddie Smith. Scott Bloomquist taking over the number 4 spot, and they close it on Brian Burkhofer for 3rd. Freddie Smith cuts a tire down. The Southern gentleman loses the wheel. Heads up. Smith cutting a tire down with 5 to go. That'll end it for Freddie Smith. Well, Freddie Smith's dream of becoming the 6-time dirt track world champion has gone by the wayside as the wheel breaks off the 00 with 5 to go. Last 5 laps. Will it be Davey Johnson pulling it in? Good enough, the Dirt Track World Championship. A great racing weekend, spectacular racing, beautiful weather in the mountains of West Virginia. They bunch up in turn number 3. We're going green this time by. Out of 4 they come. Wendell Wallace leads the group. Here comes Davey Johnson to the inside. Brian Burkhofer will grab the number 2 spot from Davey Johnson. Rick Auckland and Jackie Boggs battling out. Wallace trying to run away and hide with 4 to go this time by. Wallace, Burkhofer, Johnson, Boggs, and Auckland, your top 5. Bloomquist to the outside of Auckland. He'll take the number 5 spot back. 3 to go for Wendell Wallace. Scott Bloomquist on the move. He's now in 4th. He got by Jackie Boggs. Boggs will get by Rick Auckland. He'll take the number 5 spot. 2-lap signal given. White flag the next time by. Down the backstretch, heading into turn number 3. Wendell Wallace will see the white flag. We've got 1 lap to go. last time around. Wallace coming out of turn, heading down the back chute for the last time. He takes it into 3, cruising into 4. Wendell Wallace is going to win the 20th Annual Dirt Track World Championship.
Smile, Wendell.
Take care of that pace truck, Bud Bear. What a great run. Let me get both of those together for you, Steve. Well, when did you know you had this thing? I think you're going to tell me. Well, I don't want to guess for you. You speak for yourself.
Hell, you don't ever know when you got this thing. You know, the guys was leading up front, got to racing real hard, and I don't know actually what happened, you know. And we had a good car. You know, Scott got by some race Freddie, and then we was coming back on them guys. But, you know, these guys, what happened to us in the heat race and the dig down, they never quit working, worked late last night, fixed everything, and we made a change right before the race. And we probably didn't have the best race car out there, but we survived 100 laps.
Well, I don't know if you didn't have the best race car. I think you had the best race car when it came time to run. Because, man, at the end, she was really, really hard to beat. Davey cut under you 3 or 4 times on those restarts and just couldn't make that 1J stick.
Yeah, Davey, he's had one heck of a year, and I knew he was going to be tough and make a run there at the end in Burkoffer, and we were just going to hang on and try to stay out of the fence. I'd been running too high up there and got in the fence one time, but we just, hell, give it all we had.
All right, you probably have a few people that you want to thank. I'm sure Monday Trucking will be one of them, but you go ahead and take care of all those people, all the people down at Batesville and all the people. Of course, Mooney Starr with us this weekend. I'm sure you've got a word or two for him.
Yeah, he kind of helped me get started in racing, you know, and you know, this double file restart, it made it interesting for the fans. A lot of the racers didn't like it, but, you know, it proved to be one hell of a show. I'd just like to thank our sponsors, OJ and Tony Mundy. They own the race car, you know, they never give up on me, whatever we do. And, you know, Todd Moser, the crew chief, he works on this thing day in, day out. If it wasn't for him, we couldn't do that. Joe Garrison with GRT Race Cars. Hell, your mic quit working.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just got to step over this way a little bit. Now, what do you think about this crowd? This crowd is hanging around on both sides of the speedway. You've been to a number of features here. They're starting to get real, real loyal to you guys there. What do you think about that?
I love that. You know, back home, at 11, 12 o'clock, their fans go home. You know, only place you can see them 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe a bar somewhere. But all these guys, they stay out here and drink all night with you and watch the races. Or, you know, it's just great to watch all these people stay out here all night and watch a race.
Got to ask you one more important question, Wendell. Would you want to have the 2001 Dirt Track World Championship right here at West Virginia Motor Speedway?
Definitely. You know, I hope we don't get rain or whatever. I hope the racetrack's a little better shape, but this is definitely a racetrack you can race on. You know, if you win here, you ain't got no excuses for losing because you can maneuver all over the racetrack, and generally it makes for a good race.
Well, congratulations, race fans. Your winner of the 20th Annual Dirt Track World Championship, Wendell Wallace.
I'll take my check up.
Thank you.
Freddie, you're going for the lead. Can you tell us what happened in turn one?
Yeah, we had run in turn one extremely hard and considerably higher than anybody else had been running. And Freddie had been running in on the bottom and staying low, middle to the lower part of the racetrack every lap. You know, we'd watched him just the whole race. We'd taken the car in. I was already committed. I'd went in, you know, extremely hard. I felt like that was going to be the corner that I was going to go by him. He changed lines immediately, decided to go high. He wasn't running as quick as I was. I'd already gotten committed to the speed I was going in the corner at. He must have hit a bump, got crossed up a little bit, and got slower yet. And I had too much speed to stop. I was on the brakes as hard as I could, and there's no way I could get stopped in that dust on the top of that racetrack. You know, I'd already committed myself to needing the whole track to get slowed down. You know, so you know, anybody that could watch the tape could see that we were on the brakes sliding before I even touched Freddie Smith. And if he hadn't got crossed up, he wouldn't have been so easily turned around anyway. So, you know, for anybody that watched that, I can't see how you can see it any other way.